Welcome to the Phil and H Travel Podcast. Is it worth it?
Glad to be here for this one. It's a really fascinating topic today.
It really is. We are doing a massive deep dive today into a place that just got a major spotlight.
Yeah, a massive spotlight.
We're talking about the Okefenokee National Wildlife Refuge down in southeast Georgia. And I want to give a quick overview of what we're covering today because we have a lot of ground to cover. We're going through the geography, the wildly specific timing you need, the budgets, the safety risks, and our final matrix scores.
We have all the facts,
Yeah.
all the 2026 prices from the source briefing.
Exactly. So before we jump into the deep dive, here's an early listener instruction. If you're planning a trip and want the honest, is it worth it verdict before you book, follow the show on Spotify or Apple.
You're going to want to hear this one before you put your credit card down for sure.
Definitely. So let's set the context here. As of July 25th, 2026, this 400,000-acre blackwater swamp officially became a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Which is just a huge deal in the conservation world.
Right, and it's the first new U.S. natural inscription in over 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years.
I mean, that really puts it in perspective. The criteria for these natural sites are just, they're incredibly stringent. You need exceptional natural beauty or like globally significant ecology.
And Okefenokee clearly has that. But with that shiny new UNESCO badge, the visitor numbers are projected to go completely crazy.
Oh, yeah. They're looking at jumping from about 800,000 annual visitors right now to something like 1.4 or 1.6 million within a decade.
Basically doubling the human footprint overnight. Which brings us to our mission for you, the listener, today. With that massive influx coming, we are extracting every single piece of practical due diligence from our source briefing to give you that ultimate, is it worth it verdict.
Because you really need all the cards on the table for the specific place.
You do. Because, and this is our hook for today, there's this weird contrarian claim from the source. The Okefenokee just joined the ranks of, like, Yellowstone and the Great Barrier Reef.
Top tier globally.
Right. But it remains one of the absolute cheapest, world-class natural experiences in North America. The prestige is sky high, but the price is incredibly low.
And that right there is a massive trap.
A trap. Okay, break that down for me. Like, how does a low price become a trap?
It's what we call the prestige versus price paradox. The headline costs are almost comically low. I mean, you're looking at, what, $5 for a daily vehicle pass?
Yeah, $5 and like $15 for an annual pass.
Right, and a 90-minute guided boat tour is only going to run you about $22.50. So to a casual tourist, it looks like a total budget dream.
I look at that and think, awesome, let's just pack the car this weekend. It's basically free.
Exactly. But those low prices mask the true scarcity out there. The real currency in this swamp isn't dollars, it's beds, boat seats, and, just quiet water.
Because you can't just build a 500-room hotel in a protected peat bog.
You can't. And this UNESCO designation, which was pushed by the Conservation Fund and the Okefenokee Swamp Park, they marketed it as a place where nature still reigns. Well, now tour operators globally are going to sell that exact phrase.
So everyone is going to show up looking for a resort that doesn't exist.
Right. And I think we need to push back on that expectation immediately. People hear World Heritage Site, and they expect the Yellowstone model.
Yeah, they expect the big timber lodge, the massive dining room, the huge RV parking lots.
But that will completely ruin your trip here. This swamp will actively punish anyone who expects quick food or resort comfort.
Especially if you just show up on a whim. Like, hey, kids, let's go see the swamp today.
Oh, that's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
If you're a planner who loves nature, you really need to listen to this. But if you're planning a casual July walk-up with the kids, just reconsider entirely.
Seriously, skip it. And that brings us to part one, geography, crowds, and the absolute critical timing of this trip.
Timing is everything here, because the climate swings are violent.
Violent is a good word for it. Let's talk about the golden window. When should you actually go?
You want to aim for October through April. That is the golden window.
Because it's actually pleasant outside.
Exactly. You get daytime temperatures in the 60s and 70s, the humidity drops, the bugs basically die off, and this is the cool part, the alligators are actually visible.
Wait, I thought gators loved the blazing summer heat. Why are they more visible in winter?
Well, they're cold-blooded. So in the summer, the surface water gets way too hot, and they retreat into the deep channels or hide in the shade.
Ah, making them harder to spot.
Right. But from October to April, they need the sun to warm up, so they pull themselves out onto the muddy banks and peat islands to bask. They're just sitting right out in the open.
So October to April is golden, but is there like a sweet spot within that?
Late February through April is the absolute peak. The migrating birds arrive, and the swamp plants are in full bloom. The source mentions the golden club blooming, which is just spectacular.
Golden club. Is that like a plant?
Yeah, it's this aquatic plant with these bright yellow spikes when you see thousands of them blooming against the blackwater and the gray cypress trees.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a photographer's dream. But on the flip side, let's talk about summer. June through August is brutal.
Brutal how? Like just hot.
We're talking a heat index regularly over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And because you're sitting in a giant shallow bowl of water, the humidity feels like breathing through a wet wool blanket.
That sounds suffocating.
It is. And it breeds these massive afternoon thunderstorms, plus the bugs. The mosquitoes are relentless, but the yellow flies and deer flies are the real nightmare.
The source mentioned deer flies actually slice your skin.
Yes, they have scissor-like mouths. They don't just poke you, they slice you.
Okay, so a midday summer paddle is basically risking heat stroke while being actively sliced open by flies. Sounds lovely.
Right, which is why I always compare the shoulder seasons, May and September, to a ticking time bomb.
That's a great analogy. You wake up at 6 a.m., gorgeous out, birds are singing, but you know that by 11 a.m., the bomb explodes into oppressive heat and swarming bugs.
So you have to paddle early and force yourself to quit by mid-morning. You just have to.
Okay, so that's the timing. Now, what about the layout? Because this isn't like a normal park with one big entrance gate.
No, Okefenokee has 3 distinct, completely separated entrances. And knowing which one to use is critical for crowd distribution.
Let's start with the east entrance in Folkston, the Suwannee Canal recreation area.
Right. This is the most accessible one. If you're driving down I-95, this is where you go. It's got the Richard S. Bolt Visitor Center, the Okefenokee Adventure Store, a boat dock. It's paved and easy.
It's the most developed one, relatively speaking.
Exactly. Then you have the west entrance near Fargo. This is the Stephen C. Foster State Park.
And this one sounds completely different.
It's way more immersive. It's actually an international dark sky park, but getting there is a long, lonely drive. You are out in the middle of nowhere.
But it has the only in-park cottages and campsites, right?
Yes, which means they fill up instantly.
Yeah.
Oh, and it also has the Suwannee River Sill area, which is this old earthen dam that pools water and attracts massive amounts of gators and birds.
Nice. And then the third entrance, up north.
Kingfisher Landing. It's basically just a boat ramp. No facilities, no crowds, just pure basic access for people with their own kayaks.
So, with 3 dispersed entrances, what does a crowd actually look like here? With 1.6 million people coming, I'm picturing bumper-to-bumper kayaks.
And that's the misconception. You won't see shoulder-to-shoulder foot traffic. What you'll experience is capacity crowding.
Like everything is just sold out.
Yes. Think of it like a massive stadium with 100,000 seats, but only one tiny hot dog stand. You feel completely alone out on the bleachers. But the second you want a hot dog, or in this case, a bed or a boat seat, you hit a brutal bottleneck.
That makes total sense. The crowding is in the booking system, not on the trail.
Exactly. Which transitions us perfectly into part 2. Arrival, accommodations, and the supply desert.
Right, let's walk through getting there. Say you fly into Jacksonville. That's about 45 to 60 minutes to the east entrance. Or Savannah, which is about 2 hours.
Either way, you absolutely must rent a car. There are no buses or shuttles here. A mid-size rental out of Jax is going to be about $45 to $75 a day in 2026.
And the contrast in those arrivals is stark. Driving to Folkston on the east is easy, paved roads. But if you booked a cabin at the Fargo entrance on the west...
Oh, that's a long, lonely drive. You have to arrive already fueled up and fed. The services just disappear.
But the payoff is instant, right? The briefing says within minutes of docking, you're on this mirror black water with cypress trees and moss.
It's magic. You don't hike 5 miles to see the good stuff. You just step off the dock and you're in it.
But you need a place to sleep first. Let's break down the bed shortage for the 4 traveler types, starting with the backpacker or budget travel.
Their best bet is camping. You can camp at Stephen C. Foster for about $32 to $40 a night, or Okefenokee Pastimes near Folkston.
Or, if you're insane, the overnight wilderness platforms.
Yeah, these are wooden decks built right over the swamp water. You paddle out, pitch your tent on the wood, and you're just surrounded by gators and dark water.
I mean, that sounds incredible, but also terrifying. And you have to pack all your own fresh water and waste out?
It's demanding. You have to book those permits early. Now, for the mid-range traveler, you're looking at motels or B&Bs in Folkston or Waycross.
Like the inn at Folkston? Those run about $90 to $150 a night.
But here's the hidden cost, and it's a big one.
The drive time.
Yes. You're 20 to 40 minutes away from the water, which means to get that dawn start, you're waking up in the pitch black and driving rural, deer-filled roads just to reach the gate.
Not exactly a relaxing vacation morning. So what about families?
Families want the Stephen C. Foster cottages. These are the holy grail.
Why are they so good?
For $150 to $180 a night, you get real beds, a kitchen, AC, and you are sleeping right on the water. No dark morning drive. You just wake up and you're there.
But they must be impossible to book.
They book out months in advance. You have to be relentless.
Okay, what about the luxury traveler? Someone expecting a high-end eco-resort.
It does not exist on the swamp, period.
Wait, really? No boutique glamping, no nice lodges?
None. You have to stay out in Jacksonville, St. Mary's, or Amelia Island on the coast. That's $180 to $350 or more a night.
And the trade-off is a massive pre-dawn commute, like 45 to 90 minutes each way.
It's brutal. You trade all that coastal luxury for a terrible morning drive.
So the beds are scarce, but what about food? The briefing calls this the food and fuel desert.
Yes, do not expect a great food scene here. There are no cute gastropubs on the water.
So no artisanal coffee and avocado toast before my paddle?
Nope. You shop at Winn-Dixie or Dollar General in Folkestone or Tiny Grocers in Fargo. Let's look at the 2026 prices so people know what to expect.
Yeah, hit me with the grocery numbers.
Water is $1.50 to $2 a gallon. A loaf of bread is $2.50 to $3.50. Eggs are $3 to $4. Deli meat for sandwiches is going to be $6 to $8.
And ice. You definitely need ice.
Ice is $3 to $4 a bag, and you'll need one every day. A six-pack of local beer is $9 to $11. Coffee is $8 to $10.
What if I don't want to cook? What if I hit a diner in Waycross?
The diner meal is about $12 to $18. A drive-through combo in Folkston is $8 to $11. And a boxed lunch from the concession, if they have them, is $8 to $12.
But the most important purchase, the one you can't skip, is bug spray.
Yes, bug spray is $6 to $9. Buy the good stuff with V8. Don't rely on some organic wristbands.
So basically treat the perimeter towns as your final supply stop.
Stock up like you're heading to a desert island, because you basically are.
All right, moving to part 3. The daily budgets and the 3 logistics traps. Let's run the actual line item budgets for these traveler types.
Starting with a backpacker. If you're camping and eating groceries, you're looking at $70 to $110 a day.
And if you own your own kayak and split fuel, it drops to like $45 to $60 a day.
Which is an insane bargain for a UNESCO site. A kayak rental is only $30 a day, for context.
Unbeatable value. What about the mid-range traveler?
They're staying in a motel, maybe taking a guided boat tour. That tour is $22.50 at Foster, or $46 at Okefenokee Adventures. Add in diner food and fuel, and you're at $120 to $180 a day per person.
Still really solid. Now the family of 4. 2 adults, 2 kids, and that Holy Grail State Park cottage.
Right, so the cottage, a $75 boat tour for the family, canoe rentals, groceries. You're looking at $365 to $435 a day total for all 4 people.
Wow, so a 3-day trip is around $1,100 to $1,300. Try taking a family to a theme park for 3 days on that budget.
You'd blow that on day 1. It's a massive bargain.
But the luxury traveler, that's a different story.
Yeah, they're staying on the coast and booking private guides, which run $250 to $600. Their daily total hits $600 to $1,200 easily.
And lastly, the digital nomad.
If you're basing in Folkston for a month, you're looking at $2,000 to $3,200 a month. But honestly, the internet is spotty and there's no real social scene. I wouldn't recommend it for long-term remote work.
Makes sense. Okay, let's talk about the 3 logistics traps. These are the things that will absolutely ruin your day if you aren't careful. Trap 1, the fuel and food desert.
We touched on this, but the mechanism is how it wastes your time. Say you do a gorgeous dawn paddle, you get off the water at 10 a.m. and you're starving.
But you forgot to pack lunch.
Right. And your rental car is low on gas. There's nothing on the water. So you have to drive 30 to 60 minutes back to Folkston or Waycross just to eat.
It costs you 60 to 90 minutes of driving, plus $15 to $40 in fuel.
And you just wasted the coolest part of the day sitting in a car. By the time you get back, it's midday heat.
The fix is easy, though. Treat Folkston or Fargo as a final stop. Pack a cooler and never drive in with less than a half tank of gas.
Exactly. Trap 2 is the heat and insect trap.
The summer midday trap.
Yes. Summer midday brings 100-degree heat and swarming yellow flies.
Yeah.
If you go out then, you risk heat illness and you won't even see animals because they're all hiding in the shade.
So you're just out there sweating and getting bitten for nothing.
The fix is go between October and April. Or if you have to go in summer, be on the water at dawn and get off by mid-morning.
Trap 3 is the scarce beds and boat seats. This is the UNESCO effect.
Right. If you just walk up on a spring weekend expecting to rent a cabin or hop on a boat tour, you are going to be shocked.
Because everything is sold out months in advance.
And you'll have to drive an hour back to an overpriced roadside motel. The fix is hypervigilance. Book your cottages and tours the literal minute the dates open up.
Okay, let's pivot to part 4. Safety, surprises, and honest disappointments. What are the actual real risks out there? Because crime isn't really a thing in a swamp, right?
Crime is basically a non-issue. The danger is entirely environmental. Dehydration, sun exposure, and getting lost.
It's 400,000 acres, so I imagine getting lost is easy.
Very easy. The trails are marked with color-coded posts, but if you wander off, every cypress tree looks the same. You absolutely need a physical map because cell service is terrible, and a fully charged phone in a dry bag.
Okay, let's talk about the gators. The briefing says there are over 10,000 of them.
It is an extremely dense population. You are going to see them.
Which is terrifying for a lot of people.
It's intimidating, but attacks are exceedingly rare. They naturally fear humans because we're too big to be prey.
Unless people do stupid things. Right?
Exactly. The golden rule, the absolute etiquette rule, is never feed an alligator. If you throw them a marshmallow, you condition a wild predator to associate humans with food.
You essentially turn them into a hazard for the next person.
Right. Give them space. Keep your hands in the boat. We also have venomous cottonmouth snakes out there, so just watch where you step.
What about medical access if someone gets heat stroke or a snake bite?
That's a real concern. The nearest hospitals are in Waycross or Jacksonville. You can't just drive an ambulance onto a peat bog, so an emergency extraction by the rangers could take hours.
Wow, okay. So keep that in mind if you have medical conditions. Let's lift the mood, though. What are the highs? The absolute magic moments.
The magic is the dawn paddle on the prairies.
The shallow, wet grasslands with the cypress trees.
Yes. Picture mirror black water, cool mist rising, herons, sandhill cranes calling, and gators just gliding through the water. It feels prehistoric.
And there's also the Chusser Island Boardwalk on the east side, right?
Yes, that leads to the 50-foot Owl's Roost Tower. You get this amazing panoramic view over the prairie, completely dry and safe for families.
And we can't forget the Dark Sky Park at Stephen C. Foster.
On a new moon night, the star field is just staggering. You can see the Milky Way perfectly.
Incredible. Okay, but what are the honest disappointments?
It's flat, subtle black water. No waterfalls, no mountains. If you expect a massive, dramatic landscape, you'll be disappointed.
And there's the Instagram versus reality problem.
Huge problem. You see a beautiful, serene photo online, but it hides the 4 a.m. alarm, the 90% humidity, and the fact that the photographer was wearing a gallon of DE.
Right, so don't let the photos trick you into thinking it's effortless.
No.
Now, moving to part 5, alternatives and the final verdict. How does Okefenokee stack up against, say, the Everglades in Florida?
The Everglades is the obvious comparison. It's also UNESCO, has crocodiles, and tons of infrastructure.
But it's close to Miami, so it's got to be more expensive and crowded.
Much more. It's $30 to $35 just for a vehicle pass. It's heavily commercialized, crowded, and you don't get that intimate, enclosed, mirror black paddling experience or the dark skies.
What about Congaree National Park in South Carolina?
Congaree is great. Old growth, bottomland forest, completely free entry, very accessible. They have those famous fireflies in the spring.
But it lacks something, right?
It lacks the vast open prairies and the dense alligator populations. It doesn't have the dark sky designation. It's a flooded forest, not the classic sprawling swamp vibe.
Okefenokee really is in a league of its own. Let's run the matrix. Give me the final source verdicts for the traveler types.
Backpacker gets a 9 out of 10. Unbeatable value. Mid-range gets an 8 out of 10. It over-delivers on nature, but under-delivers on creature comforts.
And the family score?
8 out of 10 in the cool months, but it drops to a 5 out of 10 in the summer. The heat just makes it miserable for kids. A harsh 4 out of 10. The comfort simply doesn't exist on site.
And the digital nomad?
6 out of 10. Great for a short stint, terrible for internet and social life.
So the overall source verdict?
Book now, but book smart. You want to get there before the 2026 and 2027 crowds overwhelm it. Do dawn starts, go between October and April, and prepare.
Because preparation is the dividing line between a world-class magical bargain and a miserable bug-bitten drive home.
It really is.
I love that. Before we wrap up, leave us with a provocative thought from the sources.
Think about this. The new UNESCO status is meant to protect and celebrate the Okefenokee. But by putting a global spotlight on this delicate, remote ecosystem with incredibly scarce resources, does the act of preserving it through global prestige ultimately destroy the quiet solitude that made it worth saving in the first place?
Wow. That's heavy. Preserving it might be what ruins the solitude. Well, we hope this deep dive gave you everything you need to navigate that exact paradox.
Definitely. Plan smart out there.
If this gave you the honest verdict you needed, follow the show. New episodes drop every day.
That is the honest verdict from Phil and H.